Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another amazing day at the Pet Lovers Summit. I have an amazing guest speaker. Her name is Dr. Jill Todd, and she is joined today by Vixie Elizabeth, as you can also see. And today's title is Acupressure for Pet Health. Dr. Jill is the founder of J Squared Healing, an in-person and virtual veterinary healing center in Kirkland, Washington. She helps pet parents integrate holistic veterinary healing throughout bodywork, nutrition, herbs, and more. Jill is also the co-founder of the Jill and Joan Healing. She teaches acupressure and meridian touch healing, as well as hemp and CBD products for animals. Dr. Jill's mission is to educate and empower pet parents so that they can keep their pets much happier, healthier, naturally, and holistically. Dr. Jill Todd and Vixie Elizabeth, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. We're honored.
Oh, right back at you. So I guess perhaps we should start with what is acupressure? That sounds like a good point to start with.
Sure. So I'm a veterinary acupuncturist. And I got into acupuncture many, many years ago. I had a dog who had a catastrophic accident, and she injured her back, and Western medicine just didn't help her. I did an MRI, we did surgery, I did PT, I did everything, and she was actually worse after the surgery. So I found a veterinary acupuncturist, and that acupuncturist showed me some points, gave me some needles, drew a little diagram, said, do it 3 times a week for 2 weeks, and then twice a week for 2 weeks, then once a week. But don't send me any people because I don't have time to do this now. I'm a surgeon. Like, okay, yeah, whatever. Right. Okay. Like, all right. So I did exactly what I was told. I had no idea what I was doing, but I put the little needles in the map that was given to me. 2 weeks, my dog's walking. 4 weeks, she's running. 6 weeks, she's almost back to normal. I mean, she's still an older dog, but I mean, I had my dog back, right?
Oh my gosh.
So acupuncture gave me my dog back that allopathic medicine could not. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I figured beautiful. I had to figure out what this was I was doing because I had no idea. I was following the map. So I decided acupuncture school, here I come, did my research, figured out where to go, and went and did acupuncture, and then started integrating acupuncture into my, regular allopathic Western medicine. And then recently, over the pandemic, we needed to get some people some learning online because there was no going anywhere. And Joan Ranquet, my partner in JillandJoan.com, which is our company that teaches acupressure, said, is there any way you can put together some classes for acupressure that you can teach online to my communication students? Because we need some body work, and this is the only way it's going to get done. So we put together these classes, and it was just kind of and we'd talked about doing some stuff, but all of a sudden the pressure was on. Here you go. So I put together classes and started teaching, and it was amazing. The first class we had, I think, like 60 people. I didn't even know how to work Zoom. I'm very technologically challenged, and I'm trying to teach 60 people how to find a point on an animal. Like, oh my God. And everybody loved it. What I did was I started by showing people where the point is on a human. So if it's on here, then all you have to do is find where your thumb is on your dog or your cat. If they don't have a thumb or a dew claw, where would it be? And that's the point, right? So we'd have pictures of me with my little thumb point. We'd have pictures of Vixie Elizabeth with her little point where her dew claw was. And just started showing where these points are. And basically these points do the same things as far as helping the energy in the system of the body. If it's stagnant or if it's not functioning correctly, it opens it up. If there's too much heat, it releases the heat. It helps to balance the entire system so that you can have a happier, healthier self or animal. So, and we do a lot of self-care too.
And can you tell the audience what is the difference between acupuncture and acupressure?
Of course. So acupuncture, you actually use a needle, very, very small gauge needle, and you stick the needle in the skin. And you do have to be licensed as an acupuncturist to do that because it is a medical type of thing. Whereas acupressure is just using either your thumb, your finger. There's little devices that you can buy. We actually teach it using your intentions so that you can do it virtually as well. So doing energy healing intentionally, which is super fun. And even though that's not technically pressure, because you're not really putting the pressure there, because we're using the pressure points, we call it acupressure.
Right. That's cool. I've never heard of doing that virtually. That's amazing. I love that.
Oh, and it works so well, amazingly. At the end of class, we have a little session where we decide what animal or what person we're going to work on, and we'll all work and focus on that point. And it is amazing because we'll talk through it, what we're feeling and what we're seeing. And it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yes. You are talking my language. I love that. So, okay. So what acupressure did you want to share with us today for people's pet health?
Okay, well, I can show maybe a point or two, or I can show a little acupressure, or actually I'll do the meridian touch healing because that's a little bit more unique. That's something that we put together versus, most acupressure points, and you can look those up online. Everyone has them, but the meridian touch healing is just a little bit kind of our spin-off on it. So let me grab Vixie Elizabeth and we'll get on our way here. Okay. Cause she's the supervisor. I'm just the teacher. So obviously, let me see. And she does work for treats. So
I love it.
And let me see if I can get this right here. So for my free gift I'm giving is going to be on the Bladder Sweep. And I recommend that everyone learn the Bladder Sweep because the Bladder Sweep is just amazing and healing. But Vixie Elizabeth does have some issues as a corgi with anxiety. And anxiety is a big word these days. So many people, humans, animals, all have anxiety just because of the way things are going in politics and in the world health, etc. So this is a technique I put together to help her with her anxiety. And since we have the 4th of July just around the corner, this is a great time to learn some of these things, right?
Yes. So, oh my gosh, fireworks and pets.
Yep, fireworks and pets, and she's not a fan of fireworks. So we had to figure out something that we could do because I'm not into just drugging up my pet. I don't want to be drugged up. I don't want my pets drugged up, but I want them happy and healthy and comfortable. So, I mean, yes, there are times for drugs. I don't want to say that's not ever used, but there's much better, more holistic ways to help heal and to help cope with these types of things. So,
beautiful.
What I do is I start with my left hand and I put it over her head or the back of her head. So basically you think you're working with the brain, right? That's where anxiety is. It's in your brain, right? And your brain stem. And I'll hold my left hand just over her head, right between her ears. And then what I'll do is I'll slowly just make some circles. And I usually do them in 3s, 6s, and 9s because those are the magic Chinese acupuncture numbers. And when I see that big yawn, we're already getting some releases. And I'll just kind of throw that stagnant energy either in the trash or to the south. And we'll do a little more. This works really well for cognitive dysfunction and dementia types of issues. A lot of animals have kind of like a sundowner syndrome and can't get quiet at night. So I've had, there we go, more yawns.
Yes, release, baby.
Just lots of good releases. And you just have to really focus your intention on calming. Obviously, you want to make sure that you are in a nice grounded, calm state when you start a procedure like this, because getting yourself ready is half of the battle here. And I can just feel with my hand all the energy that I'm just pulling out and getting rid of. Now we're going to get another big release there.
And I just want to say for a moment, for those of you who are watching who aren't familiar with a release or energy healing or anything like that, this is really just in reference to letting go of the negative stuff that does not serve you. And a lot of people, you will see, people and animals, you'll see yawns, just like Vixie Elizabeth is doing.
And now I'm basically holding her head up because
she's so relaxed.
That if I didn't have my head under it, you wouldn't be able to see her little face right now. Like I said, we just do this a few times. always with the left to release and get rid of that stagnant energy. And then depending on what's going on, if I want to put some energy back in, just to give her a little bit of braveness, I'll use my right hand. And we usually don't need as much work with the right hand on this type of issue. The right hand I usually use more for stagnations in the body, like pain or neurologic issues. And then I always seal the deal at the end with a little bladder sweep, which you will learn in your video.
Right.
And that just
which looks like, since we can't see the bladder sweep, I'm sorry.
That just balances all of the meridians, so that when you're done with any type of energy work with acupressure, I like to balance the meridians. But now she's just kind of a little lump in my lap here.
That's awesome. And the bladder sweep, since we couldn't see it, it looks like you're stroking down her spine. Is that correct?
Yep. You go from the eyebrows down the back to the tail, and also the hind limbs.
Okay.
So
all right.
it's super. These are so easy, but so empowering, because you're actually helping your animals, and just something that anyone can learn. And it's very bonding too, especially if you have new animals, right? Or you have new situations. It helps bringing new animals together. But this is one of the techniques that I just love so much, because it works. It works, and it's easy, and anyone can do it. Anyone. And we teach this online. We can get pretty technical and learn lots of different points for lots of other different things too. So the more you want to learn, there's more out there. But with just those two techniques, and I call this kind of the wax on, wax off technique, like the Karate Kid, where you wax off with the left and you wax on with the right. And then everyone remembers it, or at least old people like me who've seen the Karate Kid. I'm dating myself here.
Gotcha. That's beautiful. I love that. And you guys are amazing with your demonstration. So that one specifically was for stress and anxiety, which, like you said, is huge. Is there any, sorry, go ahead.
I said, absolutely. Absolutely.
We have a little lag. So, okay. Since we titled this Acupressure, do you have any acupressure points that you want to share with us today?
Yeah, let's stay with the anxiety, since we're coming up with the 4th of July.
Love it.
There's a pressure point called GV 14. That's governing vessel 14. It's super easy to find, and it's just right back on the back of the neck between the shoulder blades. All you have to do is stroke down like you're doing the bladder sweep. It's just below where the collar meets. So if you find the shoulder blades, let me just reposition my camera a little bit so you can see it a little better.
Yes.
There, I'm going to just focus on Vixie, so you don't really need to see me for this.
Gotcha.
Right here. And so right in her shoulder blades, there's a nice point.
Okay.
And you can stick your whole thumb in there, and she's a pretty small dog. On a big dog, it's going to be 2 thumbs, and a cat, it's going to be maybe part of your thumb. So if you just I like to do 2 fingers sometimes, and just do a little circle there, and you will get that same type of, it's a heat releasing point. So if there's any fever, or just heat in general, pain with the shoulders, shoulder blades, any front limb pain whatsoever, headache pain, nausea, seizures, just anything going on with the brain in general. This is a super point. In my introduction to acupressure, this is one of the 5 top points. It's called Dr. Jill's favorite fabulous 5, right?
Nice.
And this one I use again and again and again. It is great whenever I have patients come in to see me and they're a little bit nervous. It just totally relaxes them. It's one of my first points that I'll put in an animal when I'm doing acupuncture, because it's a little bit away from the mouth. So I'm not going to get bit in case they're super sensitive or scared. Right. But also, it gives me a really good feeling of how sensitive they are, because some animals are very sensitive to touch. Others are just kind of like, oh, whatever, you can put 100 needles in me, I don't care. Right. But this point is so energetic in so many ways. And as you can see, Vixie Elizabeth is totally sacked out right now. Eyes are closed. She's kind of in a little corgi coma.
Oh, I remember the acupuncture comas I used to go into all the time. It's amazing. And for those of you who haven't tried acupuncture or acupressure, it really is an amazing modality that begins in Chinese medicine like thousands of years ago. There's a ton of science behind it. And as you can see with this Vixie Elizabeth, it's very, very effective.
Oh, so effective. And like you said, I mean, this has been in our world for thousands and thousands of years before we knew what a lot of these things are, you know. I mean,
Right.
the barefoot doctors who started acupuncture didn't have a clue what they were doing, but they found the results, and then they put it together and they put these meridians together. I mean, it's just the history of acupuncture and acupressure is just amazing to me.
It really is. Yes, I agree. That's amazing. Yes, those are some really valuable tips that you have given us. Is there anything in reference to anxiety or anything else that you really wanted to just share with us today that we can move forward with and share with our pets?
Well, our company also does CBD and hemp.
Okay.
And that does go along with acupressure and acupuncture because the way it works brings the whole body into healing and homeostasis, the same way as balancing all the acupuncture and acupressure meridians. So we use a lot of CBD, especially this time with the 4th of July too. So I always just like to give people awareness that that is something. Vixie Elizabeth actually comes and asks me for it, especially when a storm comes in.
Yes.
Those modalities just work so well together. And that's why we created jillandjoan.com, so that we could, you know, do this type of healing and help our pets, because they need our help. We love them. They're my kids. I don't have 2-legged children. I have 4-legged children, and they are truly my children. My clients are my babies as well. They're all my little niecey and nephew animals that come to see me. So I want to do whatever I can to help them live a long, happy, healthy life. And I want to empower their pet parents so that they can help them too, and be aware of it and know what they can do and where they can get things that will help them.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Dr. Joan. I really appreciate that. We have a bit more time left. I'm wondering if you have maybe a favorite story that you want to share, and maybe a success story with acupuncture and or just your practice in general.
Yeah, I would love to. Probably one of my earliest aha moments, besides my personal dog Tally Ho that I gave 3 years that she would not have gotten without acupuncture. One of my first patients, and it was probably before I even graduated, but I'd just gotten my acupuncture needles, and I got like my books, and you know, I'm like this young student again in my 30s, right? And I got this thing that's called an electrostim box, which is the little wires that you'll actually hook to the needles, right? And I hadn't used it. I just got out of the box. And of course, it's all in Chinese or Japanese or Korean. I mean, it was every language but English, right? So I'm trying to put this together, and I have a dog that came in that was totally paralyzed. They brought this dog in, carried it in, put it in the treatment in the back, and they were like, you know, we might have to put this dog to sleep. I don't know what we're going to do. We just woke up and this is what we've got. And I was like, look, I'm just finishing my acupuncture school. I won't charge you for this. Is it okay if I try some acupuncture? And I have this new instrument that I've got some wires, and I'd like to play with it. And they're like, sure. So they left the dog with me, and I'm trying to read the instructions or figure them out. And I put the needles in, and I hook up all the wires, and I turn it on the way it's supposed to be turned on. I'm like, I think it's working, but I really don't know, you know, I mean, I think, right. So then there's like, doc, there's a call, you need to take this call. So I go and I get on this call real quick. It was an emergency situation, and I was in my office, and I totally forgot that I left the dog there, that it was hooked up to the wires. You know, my technician was there and stuff, but I was on this phone, and all of a sudden I hear this noise, and I'm like, what's that noise? And I turn around, it's this big, like 80-pound lab walks into my office with all the wires dragging my new machine behind it, right? Yes! And I'm like, she's walking, like, oh my God, my new machine. It's like, she's dragging it down the hallway. But it was so beautiful, because this dog that could not walk, I mean, didn't even try to get up, right? It was like a little lump, and it walked into my office, got up, and walked. And I was just like, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's energy. I mean, it's energy healing. I'm helping the body heal itself by creating and putting energy into it. And that was just one of the most amazing stories.
That is,
and I had no clue.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that story. That's so amazing. And it really is just a difference. So many people don't realize the difference between stagnant energy and energy that's flowing. And it really just is acupuncture, acupressure, energy work. They're all just ways to like open up those energy flows and allow the body to do the things that it's meant to do. Our bodies are designed to heal if they're given the right environment.
Absolutely.
That includes energy flow. That is amazing. I love that. Okay, Dr. Jill Todd, what is your website? Where can people find you?
JillandJoan.com is the website where we teach the acupressure and meridian touch healing, and that's where the hemp cells are. And then I have my own individual jsquaredhealing.com if you want to connect with me for either individual sessions to learn acupressure for a specific ailment, or if you just want to do some holistic nutritional consultations, get a nutritional or just holistic consultation because your allopathic vet doesn't have that type of information. So I do a lot virtual work. And then of course my my home office where I have my healing center that I work out of my home is in Kirkland, Washington. So, and I still have many people that love to come visit me, and animals like want to bust down the door here. Like I have so many people that when it's raining, they just open the door and the dog runs to my front door. It's so awesome.
Right. And it's
awesome in Seattle.
Exactly. I love that. And Dr. Jill, I understand that you have a free gift for everyone as well.
I do. So if you download my gift, it is a copy of a video I made several years ago of the Bladder Sweep. And this is how I like to teach my students to start. It's a very calming, very grounding procedure. It's super easy. It goes along well with what I did with Vixie Elizabeth today. I recommend doing that before and after you do any kind of acupressure, because it just helps to balance all of the meridians. But it's really great to help you bond with your pet as well. And it's something that I personally use on myself when I'm having a hard time sleeping at night because it's so relaxing. I just use my intentions and focus on that bladder meridian sweep and just move that energy on myself and out my toes. And usually after I do about 2 or 3, I'm in la la land. It's great.
I love that. Oh, that's an awesome tip. I love that too. And the link that you gave us, we sign up for a newsletter and then we get the free gift. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Dr. Jill Todd, thank you so much for all the amazing information that you have shared with us today. And thank you, Vixie Elizabeth, for
you want to say goodbye,
napping
Vixie?
Right now.
I'll get her out. She crawled under my desk to take the final nap, but she always likes to say goodbye at the end of all of our classes because she is the teacher when we have our acupressure and meridian touch healing classes.
Beautiful. Okay. Bye. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being part of the Pet Lovers Summit. Bye.
Thank you so much. Say bye.
You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
This is
Bye.
lovely.